All right.
Okay.
Welcome. So good to have you. Tracy, everyone. I'm Marianne Lee, and welcome to my new series of interviewing healers. We're going to specifically highlight some locals, but then I'm going to actually bring on some ones that I've worked with internationally. So, welcome to the series. If you feel aligned with this, please make sure to subscribe, hit the red bell notification icon down in the lower right corner, and you'll be notified when I upload new content. Also, my other social media platforms are on there, and Miss Tracy will have her contact information on there too, because she's a great, amazing healer, and she's here to share with us what she is offering to the world, to our community. And thank you guys so much. Make sure to share my content too if you feel called. I am almost at 1K subscribers, so I'm close to getting AdSense, which means I will be close to getting some financial compensation from sharing this content, which I'm super grateful for that, because I believe everyone should be getting compensated for what they love to do. Okay. All right. So thank you all for being here. Welcome, Miss Tracy is on. First interviewee. What a pleasure to have you, Miss Tracy.
Marianne, thank you for having me. Yeah, this is really cool.
Yay! Tracy is a yoga teacher, a teacher her whole entire life, and a health coach. So we're going to pass the platform to her. She's going to share what she has to offer, and one thing that a client will guarantee to take away from her services.
Okay, so in discussing what I do, I'm a health coach and I'm also a yoga coach. So let me just break those two down because they can go together, but they can live independently of each other.
Yeah.
So as a health coach, I work on habit change mostly, because when we look at the things that we're doing in our world, most of the health concerns that we have can be remedied just by changing our habit. I do not like work with medications. I do not work with your doctor unless that's a special request that you might have. I would work with your practitioner, but not against them ever, because I do feel like we have healers in every corner of our lives, but we have to allow them to do their jobs. So most of what I do is simply working with habit change, like working in your brain, if you will. So when you think about the fact that our brains are plastic, and in looking at the neuroplasticity and how we can get to that point where we can actually change our minds, that's one thing that I guarantee. When you do the work with me, that will happen is you will definitely create some new thought patterns. You will definitely create some new habits that are healthier than what you had before. Because I don't have a checklist of items for everybody that apply across the board. Like what you might want to change, Marianne, would be different than what my mother would want to change, for example, when you look at the difference in ages, the difference in activity levels, all of that stuff.
Well,
So it's kind of on a case by case basis.
I love that, though. You're getting right to the point of creating new healthy neurotransmitters and healthy, what essentially I say highways. You know, you want to create these new highways in your brain to create healthy habit change, right? And we, back in older science and older neuroscience, we did think that the brain was more on the plastic end. I follow some great neuroscientists on YouTube, which I hope to have her on eventually too. And they have discovered, it's scientifically backed up now, that we have neuroplasticity capability.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We can change. It doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, a lot of people used to think that if you're an old dog, there is no way that you could learn new tricks, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just not the case.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of amazing examples that I like to use with my clients, and that I follow as well. But when you look at hiring a health coach can help you to determine what your next step should be. So a lot of times we get lost in that when we're trying to figure out what to do for ourselves, especially when it comes to our health. They help I help my clients avoid simple mistakes. So that can save you time, which is, I think to me, that's more important than money is. But
Yeah.
money is also a huge, huge factor.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why I say that.
Mm-hmm.
In examining what I went through with my own health challenges, I went through, I can't even really say exactly what for sure it was, what one thing it was.
Yeah.
But I do know that there were some things that happened, like that were diagnosable. Like I had problems with my parathyroid, which threw off the balance of my minerals in my body, which caused anxiety and depression, which caused a lot of different behavior changes for me. So, as I was seeking a cure or the magic pill or whatever it was, in doing that, it took me a lot of time to figure out what was going on. And it also took a lot of money. Where if I had had a coach to help guide me through, I wouldn't have had to suffer through the chronic pain that I went through. And I think part of that is like we learn about ourselves when we go through that suffering part.
Yeah. So you really could help someone's case crisis go to a rapid healing because, yeah, you're being a witnesser of them and observing from the outside. So you get that clarity. Because when someone's going through depression, anxiety, they don't have that usually, they do not have mental cognition or clarity like that.
Well, that and just having them try different tools to help to relax their nervous system.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I understand what you're saying around that idea, like just being there with them.
Yeah. Being that outside, like an outside observer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of times, like in just thinking about my own journey, there
Mhm.
were people that were close to me that it's not that I don't think they ever got tired of me talking about my condition. But at the same time, I feel like they kind of did. Where if you have a coach or somebody that you've hired to help you get better,
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
that is a primary goal that you go through. And that's where the focus is. So I am my client's biggest cheerleader.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are definitely things that you get from me as a health coach, as a yoga coach, which can go like hand in hand with the health coaching. And honestly, when I've used that before, it really accelerates everything because practicing exercise,
Yeah.
especially yoga, when you incorporate breath work
Right.
and meditation,
Mhm.
that works. I mean, you can speak to that, Marianne.
It goes back to the nervous system, like a practical
Mhm.
exercise that you were saying that you would give your clients to relax their nervous system. It goes back to taking care of that. Yeah, because this is something
Mhm.
that modern medicine, I mean, some doctors are recommending things like yoga now because I've come across a few clients and I'm like, yeah, my doctor says I should do yoga. So that's excellent that we're now getting highlighted as, healers
Mm.
and a healthy modality to offer and a healthy service to offer to
Right.
people, versus just, taking some magic pill, like you said, and hoping that the symptoms will go away. But there's actually like almost a reset that needs to happen and some great insight that really needs to be looked at. And I would say, from what you're saying, I'm kind of picking up a coach really looks into things more in depth and takes more intimate time with the potential diagnosis, illness, the negative manifestation that the client is having, their chief complaint, right?
Hmm. Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I have a client and I'm designing a yoga program just specifically for them, that's different than if I were designing a
Mhm.
class like you do for like maybe five or more people, where then we can get more specific in the exercises that they need to be doing to accelerate their healing.
Yeah, exactly. Because certain postures stimulate or dormant certain energies in your body. So
Yeah.
everyone knows what I don't know. Let's see. A common pose that everyone would know is probably like maybe I don't know, cat and cow. It's really not even. It's more of a dynamic movement. But
Hmm.
um, well, let's just explain this. Giving them something practical that they could kind of put their mind to. When an inhale is extended, it actually gives you energy. When an exhale is extended, it calms the nervous system and calms you
Hmm.
down. So there's
Yeah.
ways to ground through the breath. There's certain ways to manipulate the breath to get a certain parasympathetic or sympathetic nervous system response. So you would put them through a practical exercise such as that, right? A whole routine that you would create for them. Plus, though, you've kind of mentioned some other exercises too, right? So maybe can you mention maybe one other exercise you would mention, maybe because someone has limited mobility as far as yoga goes?
Um,
Like your tapping that you really love to do, I think.
yeah, for sure. When I work with my clients, we go through the tapping modality. So much so that they get to the point where they can do it on their own.
Yeah.
And in working with that and breath work
Yeah.
and just making those things a part of their everyday rituals
Mm,
where they they can't fail
yeah.
if they elevate their vibration by working through their very own ritual every single day.
Ah,
Like there's no way you can fail.
that's amazing. It's so custom creating a ritual for these people
Hmm.
to create that healthy neuroplasticity in their minds, which resets the nervous system, getting back to homeostasis and back to balance. And then that eliminates the possible negative manifestations that they're experiencing. That sounds so juicy and so great. And no one in the world offers stuff like this for nobody but like you amazing coaches that are like you. So I think you all are so unique with bringing something so customizable to each individual. And I think that is so intimate and just personal. It's beautiful.
Well, I feel like, I mean, if we don't customize things for people, then they just get lost.
Hmm.
Like so many people, when I talk to them, they think that a morning ritual is going to be something like they're going to have to jump out of bed and go for a run and then come back, and everything is like very aggressive, very hardcore,
Yeah.
where we can be softer with ourselves. I mean,
Mhm.
I know that one of the things that you focus on is being more feminine. And I feel like, well, that's another thing that also can create anxiety and chronic pain is being too much in your masculine.
Right, which is that productivity when you wake up and you almost like eat the frog type of
Hmm.
stuff, or you get on the rocket ship right away and you don't meet yourself with grace if ever throughout the day.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. Well, I mean, having a coach can help explain to you the different ways you feel during at different parts of the day. Like for example, we already are when we wake up, we already are amped because our cortisol levels are at the highest level of the day right when we wake up.
That's what
So
wakes us
some
up. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
what
what wakes us
wakes
up.
us up. Mhm.
Yeah, and with some people, the other thing is also temperature, like our basal temperature levels
Yeah.
change,
Yeah.
and that's what helps wake us up too. But when you look at like the fact that I know with me for a long time, I would wake up and instantly be nervous. And I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah. Because the cortisol, and
Hmm.
if your adrenal glands are not healthy and balancing that out, then you get the extra cortisol, and we don't need extra
Yeah. Yeah.
cortisol.
Right. Yeah. We don't
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
having having somebody next to you that can explain the whys to
Right.
you
Mhm.
and provide examples and also exercises and how to
Mm.
mitigate
Mm.
those different chemicals in our body. So
Ugh,
we want to cortisol is necessary. We need to have it in our body. It
right.
provides us with
Right.
a way of protecting ourselves. It provides us with energy and with focus. But with
Yeah.
too much of it, then we're like near, like all over the place.
Right. And putting us
So
into that fight or
mitigating
flight.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
amazing. So what I'm
Mm-hmm.
hearing is you offer education, first of all. You educate. This is something they don't teach us in, the conventional education, how to take care of ourselves. And you
Mm-hmm.
offer something that is so intimate, custom, and personalized to help someone understand what they need. So you really, really help the client understand themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And no one
So
out
we
there really takes the time for this for somebody other than
right.
people like you, coaches.
Well, I mean, it's becoming a thing for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Where when you look at like the time that we can waste in just spinning our wheels or
Right.
surfing on the internet, like with how do I do this? How do I create a yoga program for myself?
Mhm.
And when you have a yoga coach right next to you that's going to tie that into your health goals
Yeah.
and also your life goals, I mean, because everything is health. Your health is everything.
Yeah. I agree. How wonderful.
Yeah.
So, with that, what would you say one thing they are guaranteed to take away from your services?
They are guaranteed to, if they do the work,
Right.
that they will change their habits. They will. There's a lot of things that can come out of it.
Right.
They can
Habit
embark on a
change.
weight loss journey.
Yeah, I think
They
just
can
habit
embark,
change.
yeah, just everything. I mean, I think the most important thing, like for me, is just in finding yourself. Like that's to me the
Yeah.
biggest part of it.
Mhm.
And when you do that, then you also allow other people to shine their light too.
Mhm.
So if you have children, I mean, believe this, your children watch you all the time.
Right. Mhm.
Do as I do, not as I say, like that kind of thing. Do as I say, not as I do, that
Yeah.
rule. I mean, that's how we look at like our our best examples are our parents. So if you are interested in changing your life, that's going to radiate out to everybody around you.
Mhm. How do you
But
what do you think something that maybe a potential client needs to know or hear or contemplate when they think they're ready to invest in a health coach? Like what maybe, they're realizing, I would have to say like that one that Miss Marcy always uses, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like
yeah.
just being honest
Hmm.
with what you're doing is not really fulfilling or sustaining you anymore. And
Right.
you need
The
some
one
help.
question that got me to move, the
Yeah.
one question that got me to move
Uh-huh.
before I before I was before I even figured out that I could heal,
Yeah.
the question was, how long would you like to suffer?
Oh, yeah. Great question. Just
Hmm.
so thought provoking. Yeah. Thank you, Tracy. Is there anything more you'd like to add in? I think we highlighted so much. Or would you like to share a practical exercise Maybe we should mention a little bit more what tapping is. Maybe some people might not know what that is because we kind of didn't mention it.
Okay. I do want to let you all know that I run 90-day programs because there is no quick habit change. It's a 90-day support system with the option for renewal. And when we go through your program, we set up the goals initially, but we plan, do, check, and adjust as we go through the entire program.
Right.
And with that, then we learn, like one of the first things I have my clients do is definitely learn how to tap. So with tapping, it's called the emotional freedom technique. If you know anything about acupuncture or acupressure,
Yeah.
what we do is we hit on these 9 different points where we have these places, and that helps to reduce the amount of cortisol in our bodies. And it also helps us to focus better. And so the interesting thing about tapping, which this could be a completely different an episode all by its own,
Yeah.
but you focus on the negative, where
Yeah.
there are so many therapies in our world where everybody wants everything to be all like touchy feely and
Mhm.
everything's perfect, but we have to focus on the negative sometimes in order to allow it to release.
Right. And do you know
Then
the
we can
science?
focus on the positive.
Do you know the science behind that at all, Tracy? I know all your techniques that you do teach are scientifically
Mm.
backed up as well, which that just says the premium quality services that you are offering, and you're so worth the price that you are, giving to people to hold this too, because that right there, scientific data backed up research. Do you know the science behind that, or more about that, like affirming and accepting that negative, like what you said? 'Cause yeah, can you share a little bit?
Yeah, I haven't run my own tests, but according to the research that I've done
Yeah.
from the Ortners, from Nick and Jessica Ortner, which are the
Yeah.
people that run the tapping solution,
Yes.
they have done research, and it shows that there is a marked decline in cortisol levels even
Okay.
after 1 round of tapping.
Wow.
And so and an easy way to measure it for yourself without even getting like all science based or doing lab work
Yeah.
is just by measuring how you feel before you start a tapping session.
Yes.
So if you are not focused or if you are anxious, then measuring that like on a scale from 0 to 10, how anxious do you feel right now?
Yeah. Mhm.
And then you set that up and you go through your tapping. So, like, let's say that you feel like you're at about an 8 or a 9 for
Right.
anxiety.
Because 10's the cap. Hmm.
10 would be like, yeah, 10 or more. Some people feel like
Yeah.
they are even more anxious than that sometimes.
Yeah.
But allowing yourself to breathe and to work through the tapping points as you talk through what the issue is,
Right.
then I've gotten remarkable results even on the first try
Yeah.
with myself and with my clients. Like,
Uh-huh. I agree. Tapping was one of the first modalities that my therapist gave me to do. And, they used to be all orientated towards my anxiety. But now that I'm not dealing with my anxiety, I get to orientate them towards productivity of having an efficient, balanced day. So I love that too, because if
mhm,
someone's
yeah,
maybe feeling more depressed, actually, I would say that's kind of more going towards I don't really like to label or diagnose, but having that complacent energy, and they need to be motivated,
hmm,
but they don't want to be so on the rocket ship either, especially me that's anxiety prone. So
yeah,
meeting that day with the tap, like I get to do with Nick Wartner and Jessica Wartner on that app, which I'll link down below, they have these
hmm,
routines for almost anything, any kind of anxiety, efficient through the day, like you, and just general anxiety or getting on flights. They have that for. They have
hmm.
public speaking. So it's so great. Anyone could find any kind of whatever they're struggling with on there.
Yeah, actually, one of the best things about tapping is that it's one of those tools that grows with you. So maybe with you, Marianne, you started
Yeah.
using it initially for anxiety, and
Right.
same with me.
Right.
Same with me. Then I move up and I use it for focus, but
Yeah.
I also can use it. You can use it for creativity. You can
Oh,
use it to bring abundance into your life,
yeah.
and for forgiveness.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
another way that you can use it.
Yes, I have did a
So,
gratitude challenge on there, which is so cool. They do have challenges on that app too, which I love.
mhm.
And
Yeah, so there's
you
all
told me
different
about
ways
that
that
app.
we can do it. Yeah,
My
yeah,
health coach friend told me about the app. And so I just want to say something that personally that I think what's so amazing about health coaches is you offer these services via Zoom, which is great. No one has to go to a physical location. You're accessible to anyone on the global, national scale. And
right.
with the via Zoom, I feel it's so great because it honors people's privacy too, versus having to go into, Spanish Peaks or any other health solutions that we have locally, because there is so much like stigma and negative connotation behind like
Mm.
mental health in general. So I love that you could just send your clients a link and you meet up on a platform such as Zoom as we are on here together and you get into session with them.
Yeah, and we can also work throughout the week, like on Voxer or some sort of messaging platform to provide support throughout the week, and just do it that way because some people need a little more support.
And
Where
that's also right.
with a therapist, it is almost impossible to get in touch with them until your next appointment.
Oh, it
Am
is.
I wrong on that?
No, you're absolutely right. If you're in a crisis, they tell you to call 911.
Right.
But with your coach, yeah, there's usually some kind of, like you said, a social platform that you're there and they could send you a message and they're there for you. So that just creates so much support, Tracy. Thank you for holding space for these people, for potential clients. It's amazing. Just that alone creates a softness. And I know in my nervous system, just knowing people are out there like you, being of
Mm.
service to humanity and to people.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me the platform to educate people in what a health coach is, because a lot of people don't know.
Right. Hmm. I agree. That's why I wanted to
Mm.
create this series. Is there anything else you'd like to say? I will put Tracy's contact information down in the description box of this video too. And for those that are not familiar with where that is, it's the little icon that looks like an upside down V to your right. And you hit that and my
Mm.
links and all my platforms will be there. All my handles and Miss Tracy's handles will be there too.
Awesome. Yeah, the only other thing I'd like to throw in there is if you have questions, then just reach out to me or
Yeah.
reach out to Marianne or somebody that you feel like could help you on your journey,
Yeah.
because there is nothing better than like talking to another human being. I mean, you can Google stuff all day long, and
Mhm.
it's like, it's different when you talk to somebody, and there's no charge for a call.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just you just find out like how things work, and you get more familiar with it.
And you offer a free clarity call, right, Tracy?
I do. I do actually. Right now I'm offering a free 30-minute call to learn one of the techniques in visioning or in tapping,
Okay, great.
those things. Yeah,
Great. Yeah. So that is right there, some opportunity for these viewers. So thank you for adding that to
right.
sharing.
I The only other thing I'd say is that I do have a free Facebook group that anybody can join, anybody that's on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I do a lot of my live coaching for free. And in my coaching, I give tips and explanations for a lot of things. And there is not one of my tips that I've ever given, even in my coaching, that costs anybody anything except for your time.
Yeah. Amazing. So you
Yeah.
believe in this work so much that you offer free content. What is it, once a week that you post on there, Tracy, or is it twice a week?
Right now I'm doing once a week lives,
That's wonderful.
and I'm doing some other things as well to help my viewers. Yeah.
Nice. That's so
I have a
wonderful.
really active community on there too.
Great. So everyone go find her. We'll put the handle down below too, so they could add you to your
Mm.
bliss method. I love that room. I'm in it personally, and like you can never know enough. And this is stuff that we didn't get taught in our modern education. We got to learn how to have a relationship with ourselves, how to take care
Mhm.
of ourselves. And thank you, Tracy, for offering this and being of service to humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes things that we watch are not for us necessarily, but there's something that sparks a curiosityness where we can tell somebody else about it too.
Yeah. And you're
So,
now, can I just mention, you are now a example of a healed person. You do not have a
mm,
parathyroid problem anymore. You do not
right.
have anxiety anymore.
Right. Yeah. No
No
chronic
chronic.
pain either. Yeah.
Nice.
So that is that is God's gift to me.
Yeah.
But that's because I did the work too.
Yes.
I didn't choose to stay in my house by myself and just allow the anxiety to consume me. I reached out. And so it's also through friendships with people like you, Marianne, that helped me that helped me become bigger and a better person too. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this series on here is to let people know there is community out there.
Hmm.
There is support. There are people that care. There are people that have services that could offer help. And just getting that more of like an index out there to everyone. Yeah. So thank you, Tracy, for being a part of this. And everyone, please
Hmm.
go join Miss Tracy's Bliss Method Facebook private group. You'll love it. You won't regret it. And you can learn so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, please, Earth, Air, and Self Care. And make sure to share this content if you feel called or resonate with it or know anyone that could benefit from this content.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Marianne.
Tracy. Love you. Mwah.
Love you too.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Love you.
Love you too.